Welcome back to Firefly Studios. My name is Kadia, and this is a continuation of our Unity C# Fundamentals course. Today we are going to be covering functions. So functions are very simple. This is a brand new script I set up. We've got two by default, a start function and update function. Basically, functions are a way to organize code. So first we're going to break down the anatomy of a function. You start off by specifying its access level. So this is either going to be private or public. Next, you specify the return type. So this will be whatever type of information you get back from the function. Then you specify its name, and then you do parentheses. You will always have parentheses for functions. On the next line, you will do open and closed squiggly brackets. And these signify that whatever code we have inside here, so whatever code is in here, are going to belong to this function. So whenever this function is called, this code will happen. By default, these two functions, so Unity calls these. So start is called at the beginning as soon as you press the play button. Update is called continuously once a frame. You can also create custom functions. And the way you do that is just how you would create these. So public void my function. And then you can do stuff in here. So for instance, we're going to say debug.log hello. And what's going to happen by default is nothing, because nothing calls this function. The way you call a function is you just put the name with the parentheses. So now, when this happens, in place of this line of code, it will do whatever is in this function. So if I press play now, after it compiles, what I should see in my console, that's all the debug.log does, you should see hello there, which we do. You can also read information into functions. So let's say string name. This is just a way to input a name to it. And then or a word. Strings are words. We'll go into more detail about strings in the variables video. But here, what we're going to do is now when we call the function, we have an error because it's looking for information that we haven't given it yet. So we're going to go ahead and give it a name. So we'll do this. So now what we should see is when we call this line, instead it's going to skip down here. It's going to take whatever information's in here, plug it into here. So string name is now equal to Kadia. And then on debug.log, we should see Kadia here. So what we should see in the console is Kadia. So I'm going to press play. And now it says Kadia. You also have private functions. Private function just means that only this class can access it. A public function means any class can access it. You also have return types. So you can put a type here in place of void. So if I said public string get my name, you have to use the return keyword here. So return Kadia. So here, we're sending this information back whenever this function is called. So we can replace our name here with get my name, and it will output the same thing, except this time it'll be a capital K because I spelled it with a capital K. So you should see this Kadia over here become capital K Kadia. That's basically how functions work in a nutshell. They're just used to organize your code. They're very useful if you want to do the same thing multiple times or in slightly different variations. A good example for this would be maybe you wanted to detect if the player was touching something. So you wanted to see, am I touching the floor? Am I touching a wall? One way you could do that would be by raycasting or drawing an invisible line from you to a little bit in front of you and seeing if that touches anything. And rather than writing the same code 3 times to do both sides and the floor, you could just make a function and just feed in which direction you want it to go in. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you have a great day. Please like and subscribe. See you in the next one.